Tony Bennett had a secret that haunted him for decades. He sang with legends like Lady Gaga and Frank Sinatra, charming millions with his warmth. But beneath the charm was a bitter truth he never revealed until the final days of his life in 2021. This wasn't just a rivalry, it was personal, and it had been buried for over 50 years. Born Anthony Dominic Benedetto on August 3, 1926 in Queens, New York, he was the first in his Italian immigrant family born in a hospital, a small symbol of hope. But life in Astoria was anything but easy. The family faced poverty, cold winters, and constant worry. His father, a grocer with a weak heart, died when Tony was just 10. His mother, Anna, worked brutal hours in a sweatshop to keep the family afloat. Rent was a struggle. Soup kitchens became routine. That same year, a spark of hope appeared. Young Tony was chosen to sing at the opening of the Triborough Bridge. He performed for thousands, including Mayor LaGuardia. It was the first moment that hinted at a future beyond hardship. By 13, he was a singing waiter in local Italian restaurants, serving pasta by night and singing to keep food on the table. His voice became known around Queens, not just for its beauty, but for its heart. He also had a gift for art and was accepted into Manhattan's School of Industrial Art. But dreams had to wait. At 16, he dropped out to help support the family, taking any job he could find. Yet music never left him. He performed at amateur nights, holding tight to the dream. In 1944, he was drafted into World War II, fighting in France and Germany. The horrors of war, especially the Battle of the Bulge, stayed with him forever. He became a lifelong advocate for peace. After the war, the GI Bill allowed him to study music properly. A teacher told him, "Don't copy singers, learn from instrumentalists." That advice shaped his unique style, inspired by jazz greats like Art Tatum and Billie Holiday. Then came a lucky break. In 1949, performing as Joe Barry, Tony was spotted by Pearl Bailey in a Greenwich Village club. She was so moved, she asked him to open her show and introduced him to the right people. Soon after, Bob Hope saw him perform. Hope told him, "You've got something special. I'm putting you on my show." That moment launched a legend. But behind it all, the bitterness lingered, a silent feud that would remain hidden until the very end. When Bob Hope invited Tony Bennett to open at New York's Paramount Theater, it was like stepping into history. Legends like Sinatra and Crosby had graced that stage, and now a young kid from Queens was following in their footsteps. But first, Hope had one more piece of advice. Drop Joe Barry. Anthony Benedetto was too long for a marquee. How about Tony Bennett? Hope suggested. That name stuck, and the world would never forget it. Those Paramount shows in late 1949 were Bennett's true breakout. Thousands packed the theater. He was terrified, but learned fast how to pace a set, hold a room, and command a crowd. The exposure launched him nationally, and by 1950, Columbia Records signed him. Under producer Mitch Miller, Bennett refined his sound. Miller pushed him to sing with emotion, not just melody. In 1951, Bennett's first hit, Because of You, hit number 1. Won and stayed there for 10 weeks. Over 1 million copies sold. He was a star. Then came Cold, Cold Heart, a bold choice, covering a Hank Williams country song. But it worked. 6 weeks at number 1, 1 million sold, and even Hank himself approved. Bennett had crossed genres and audiences. In 1953, Rags to Riches became his anthem. The post-war Ballad of Hope hit number 1. Won for 8 weeks and sold over 2 million copies. It later featured in Goodfellas and The Godfather, cementing its place in pop culture. Fans still requested it decades later. By 1965, Bennett had 24 top 40 hits. Songs like Stranger in Paradise and Blue Velvet kept him charting, even as the Beatles stormed America. His secret? I just sing songs people remember. But he didn't stop at pop. In the mid-1950s, Bennett dove into jazz. He teamed with Count Basie, Stan Getz, and even Art Blakey. Critics were skeptical. Blakey's hard bop with Bennett's smooth vocals. But it worked, and amazed even jazz purists. He released The Beat of My Heart in 1957. a bold, live-recorded jazz album featuring drummers like Blakey, Chico Hamilton, and Joe Jones. It only sold 50,000 copies that year, but its impact was massive. Sinatra later said the album taught him how to swing. In 1958, Basie Swings, Bennett Sings proved Tony Bennett's jazz credentials, especially after a stunning live performance at Birdland. In 1962, despite laryngitis, he recorded I Left My Heart in San Francisco in just 2 takes. It became a million seller, won 2 Grammys, and was adopted as San Francisco's anthem. As rock and roll rose, Bennett reluctantly recorded Beatles covers in 1970, a move he later regretted. His career faltered, sales dropped, and his personal life suffered with a divorce and remarriage. After leaving Columbia in 1972, he launched his own label, Improv, which failed by 1977, leaving him in debt and battling depression and addiction. In 1979, after a near-fatal overdose, Bennett reached out to his sons. Danny took over as manager, cutting costs and reviving Tony's career by booking intimate shows for new audiences. In 1986, Bennett returned to Columbia with full creative control, marking the start of his comeback with the art of excellence. He collaborated with everyone from jazz greats to rock stars like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. By 1990, the IRS debt was paid off, and Bennett was back. Through it all, he never stopped loving jazz. His albums with pianist Bill Evans in the mid-70s were deeply personal and critically praised. Though they didn't sell much then, they're now considered masterpieces. In 1994, at 68, Bennett appeared on MTV Unplugged, a platform ruled by grunge and alt-rock. The episode became one of the show's highest rated. The album went platinum and won the Grammy for Album of the Year. His mic-free moment during Fly Me to the Moon became legendary. Offstage, life surprised him again. In 2007, he married Susan Crowe, 40 years his junior. They'd met in the 1980s when she was 19. He'd actually met her parents while her mother was pregnant with her. Despite the age gap, the connection was real. She became his biggest supporter and caregiver during his battle with Alzheimer's. In his 80s, Bennett was more relevant than ever. His 2006 album Duets, an American classic, debuted at number 3 and featured Paul McCartney, Elton John, Barbra Streisand, and more. In 2011, Duets 2 debuted at number 1, making Bennett, at 85, the oldest living artist to top the Billboard 200. The album featured stars like Lady Gaga and Amy Winehouse in her final recording. His collaboration with Gaga continued with the 2014 Cheek to Cheek album, also a number 1. One hit, bringing jazz to a new generation. Bennett won 20 Grammys, many after age 60, and holds the longest span between wins, 1962 to 2022. In 1999, he and Susan founded the Frank Sinatra School of the Arts in his hometown of Astoria, promoting arts education. Diagnosed with Alzheimer's in 2016, Bennett continued performing remarkably. At 95, he released Love for Sale, becoming the oldest artist to release new material, with the album debuting at number 8. Tony Bennett passed away peacefully in 2023 at 96, leaving a legacy of 70-plus albums, 50 million records sold, and 19 Grammys. Remembered for his joy in singing, he inspired millions and was honored as a champion for Alzheimer's awareness. Please subscribe to our channel for more videos, and don't forget to press the bell icon.